Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, specially to Political Thinkers series. In this video, we will going to discuss J.S. Mill's defense of rights of women. So without wasting our time, let us begin. To have a better understanding of J.S. Mill's defense of rights of women, we need to look at the context in which he developed his theory. In Mill's time, a woman was generally subjected to whims of her husband and father, because the social norms at that period of time said that women were both physically and mentally less able than men and therefore needed to be subjugated or taken care of. This view was supported by both hierarchical religious views of men and women within the family and social theories based on biological determinism. At that period of time, society used to picturize the ideal position of women as duty-bound mother, wife, and homemaker. But Mill openly criticized this kind of consciousness of the society through his writing and political activism. Mill argued that the inequality of women was a relic from the past, when the might was right, but it had no place in the modern world. Which means Mill said that the inequality of women is a legacy of the past, when those who have power always considered as right, and it should not continue in the modern world. Mill saw that having effectively half of the human race unable to contribute to the society outside of home as a hindrance to human development. A general belief at that period of time was that the women are naturally worse at some things than the men, and therefore should be discouraged or forbidden from doing them. But Mill strongly criticized that view and argued that we simply don't know what women are capable of, because we have never let them try. Hence, we should not and cannot make such an authoritative statement without evidence. And also, it is unjust to stop women from trying things by saying that she cannot do. The anxiety of mankind to intervene on behalf of nature is altogether unnecessary solicitude. And Mill said that in fact men are basically contradicting themselves by saying women cannot do and stopping them from doing. Here Mill suggests that men are basically admitting that women are capable of doing, but they do not want them to do. Mill said, I deny that anyone knows or can know the nature of two sexes as long as they have only been seen in their present relation to one another. Until the condition of equality exists, no one can possibly assess the natural difference between women and men, distorted they have been. What is natural to the two sexes can only be found by allowing both to develop and use their faculties freely. Mill believed that women are brought up to act as if they were weak, emotional, and docile. If we tried equality, we would see that there were benefits for the entire women community. He felt that even in society as unequal as England and Europe of the 19th century, one could find the evidence that when given chance a woman could excel. He pointed to some examples such as the English Queen Elizabeth I or Victoria or the French patriot Joan of Arc, and said that if given chance women would excel in other fields as well, and said they should be given the opportunity to try. Mill said the subjugation of women and lack of opportunity for her personal development is biggest loss for entire society. If we provide equal opportunity, it would double the mass of mental faculties available for the higher service of humanity. In other words, according to J.S. Mill, if the women are provided equal opportunity, it is like liberating half a population from slavery, and that liberation from slavery of women will have great effect on human development. Mill felt that the emancipation and education of women would have positive effect on men also. The stimulus of female competition and companionship of equally educated persons would result in the great intellectual development of all. Mill also stressed the insidious effects of the constant companionship of an uneducated wife or husband. Mill says if we educate or emancipate the women, we would better able to connect her on an intellectual level with their husband, thereby improve the relationship between husband and wife. Mill also attacked marriage laws as instruments to the slavery of women. Mill said, there remain no legal slaves save the mistress of every house. Mill argued for the need for the reforms of marriage legislations. He wanted to reduce the marriage law to business agreement, placing no restrictions on either party. Along with the reform of marriage laws, Mill also wanted to reform other laws such as inheritance laws to allow the women to keep their own property and allowing women to work outside the home, gaining independent financial stability, etc. Mill campaigned for the right to vote for women in a society where right to vote for women considered as a nonsense. Mill argued that women make up half of the population. Thus, they also should have a right to vote since political policies affect women also. He theorizes that most men will vote for those MPs who will subordinate women. Therefore, women must be allowed to vote to protect their own interests. Mill was not just a theorist. He actively campaigned for women's rights as an MP and was president of the National Society for Women's Suffrage. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and equally benefited. Please give me thumbs up and like, comment, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.